I guess a lot of women have been thinking about whether to come forward.
Yeah.
You finally did. Why did you do that?
Do you know what? I actually found the Me Too triggered sort of really unhappy memories, and I didn't think of myself as someone with mental health issues or anything, but actually learned that unresolved trauma is causing anxiety and all kinds of things. And so I was listening to other people's stories and getting really upset. And I actually called Simon and said, look, I think I've got to say something because you feel guilty, you feel responsible. And he said, go away, have a Christmas holiday, you know, calm down, really think about it, because, of course, this can open a can of worms and there's lots for you to deal with, but, you know, I'm right beside you if you want to go ahead. Now, I was writing my autobiography anyway, but I was kind of not going to include those things because I thought they weren't nice, and obviously they're not nice, and then realised, actually, I'm not being true to myself. How can I tell my life story without these things that actually were, you know, big things that happened to me?
This was a very nasty attack on you by a man that you're not naming.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the only time that you describe being assaulted. Yeah. What did you think at the time? And did you report it at the time? Or did you feel that it was just something that happened and then suppressed it?
Well, the incident that happened in America, it was quite strange because I wasn't famous in America. So a friend was with me and who actually rescued me, you know, mid-attack. And she kind of sort of said, look, you can't go around being friendly like that with people like that over here. And she also said, you know, you're nothing in this town. You're just another girl that they'll sort of do that to and toss away.
Did you report the assault?
No, we didn't. We stumbled out to the place. She pretended to have a gun. In America, the people do carry guns, and that's how she managed to get him off of me. And we kind of stumbled back to the hotel crying, and, you know, her sort of saying, you know, you can't go around saying hello and smiling at people, and people don't behave like that here. And it just kind of pulled ourselves together and got on with it.
There was some sort of implication that by smiling and saying hello to someone, you'd invited an assault.
Yeah, and being friendly, because I was used to being friendly here at home, where, you know, it's, oh, hi, Sinitta, oh, hi, how are you? And she was like, you know, you're nothing in this town. People think that you're interested in them if you're friendly like that here.
This incident, the one that happened at Simon's house, it was down in France, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tell us about that, because Simon, you did tell Simon about what had happened.
Yeah. What the actual incident or what
yeah,
happened?
I mean, what happened to you?
I was showing a guest to one of the guest rooms because it was someone who was staying with us for the holiday weekend. So we're kind of in the basement now, probably what would be like the most undesirable rooms on the property. And he kind of went, oh, yes, I like this one, threw himself on the bed, turned behind and said, yep, you know, stay here. And I was like, OK. And as I bent down to kiss him goodnight to leave, pulled me on top of him, rolled on top of me, and, you know, it was, but it all happened so quickly as well.
But he assaulted you?
Yeah, I mean, he basically started to try and, you know, get my clothes off and everything. And it was bizarre because in my head, I'm sort of thinking, well, you know, Simon's in the house. He's not right here, but he's somewhere in the house. There's security outside on the property. And I'm thinking, just don't panic, just don't panic, take charge, sort of, you know, think these things. And I managed to sort of get out from him, but after fighting with him quite a long time. And he kind of said, oh, is that what Simon likes, is it, that you take charge? And kind of turned it into...
And you told Simon about what happened. What was his reaction?
Well, he was absolutely furious. Because as a woman, you kind of don't want to make a fuss, almost.
You want to make everything better.
And it was like, oh, please don't make a scene, please don't...
He was a famous person, so...
Oh, very famous, very powerful man. And I think that's what scared me, which in a way is a different kind of prejudice, because I think if he'd just been, you know, some other less powerful person, I probably would have been going, oh my God, we've got to do something. But it was almost like, oh, we mustn't make a scene and please don't say anything. And he was like, you know, fine. So he sort of concentrated more on calming me down. But then the next day when he was going, it kind of, you know, pulled him up and had words with him about it, But then even that was awkward because this man is still around, so then I had to
so how
see
do you
him.
feel about it? You haven't reported this to the police, right?
I haven't reported it to the
police. So how
police.
do you feel when you see this person?
You kind of get used to almost just, you know, hello and how are you, and kind of almost glossing over it. And that's when I realised this is kind of a bit of mental unwellness because I'm anxious when I'm around and I kind of act nervous and I almost behave like I've done something wrong and I tiptoe around this man and actually it's the other way around.
And they should be held accountable, actually.
But I thought, it's not really that Me Too thing because, I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm thinking I don't want to ruin his children's lives, his wife's life.
He's married, is he?
It's not their fault that he did that. But maybe by speaking out enough to sort of go, you know what, the fact that I didn't say anything doesn't mean it's okay. And hopefully an opportunity to change,
Well, that's a really powerful, positive message to take from it. But I can see how it weighs on your mind. It's unacceptable behaviour, frankly. And you're right, in the situation, sometimes it's hard to know how to deal with it. But you've been very honest about, dealing with it now.